Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of And Now You Know with Bette and Julz. I'm Bette.
And I'm Julz.
And this is episode 2. We just recorded. It was supposed to be about the seasons of life, the episode that we just previously recorded, and we ended up going on a whole journey with the conversation that it was great.
It was a part of
it. Was great.
It was seasons.
It was unexpected,
Yeah.
but it was great, and
Yeah.
it was about life seasons. So that has become part 1, and now this is part 2, continuing the conversation.
Yes. Okay. So it came about because Jay and I had a devotion this morning, and it was talking about the seasons of life and the importance of giving yourself the time that those seasons require for you to come out of them. Mm-hmm. Because we all face death, we face, unfortunately, divorce, we face financial setback, just all the different things that life throws our way.
All the fun hurdles and, speed bumps that we get along the way.
And you just have to remember that this too shall pass.
Right.
But me being the person that I am, I believe that these are just God's way of elevating us and seeing if we're ready for the next thing that He wants to bless us with, the next assignment that He's going to give us. I mean, we can't, in part 1, I was talking about this house that Jay and I want to buy for Jake's house and the coffee house and all these cool things. And Jay and I were talking about how we wouldn't be prepared for this or even have the ability to think about it if we hadn't gone through those seasons in our life that we went through.
Right.
And there are just assignments that come along in this life that require a high level of experience and compassion and peace, love, and joy and grace and, all those things. So my prescription's ready, by the way.
Oh. Well, and that it's funny because a lot of times people want to, really probably most often, people want to avoid the hard. Yep. Right? So you want to avoid the challenge. You want to avoid, this is when people stay in their comfort zone and they don't want to. And look, I'm guilty of it too. There were things in my life that I went through that had you given me the choice, I would have said, hell no, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to experience that. But now I think of where I am today in my life, the experiences that I've had, what I've lived through, what it has taught me, not only about life and other people and relationships, but also about myself. Yeah. It is remarkable how you come out on the other side. So the line of this too shall pass, Julz is the one that has been saying that to me for the last almost decade. Yeah. And I remind myself of that. That was not something that was my norm. Right. But whenever there is now in my life, whenever there is a challenge or whenever there is a situation, I now think about this too shall pass. This is temporary. We're going to get through it. Look to the other side. And really, I have learned the most valuable, the most amazing things in my life all came from pain. All came from
failure, pain.
And you do level up. You do.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we've gotten, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating from the first episode or the first part 1, but we at church are meeting a lot of younger married couples who are they're in the throes of the young days of child rearing. I'm talking babies and waking up in the middle of the night and even elementary school, and they're launching into soccer and baseball and football and ballet and gym, all the activities and the time suckers as parents. And it really takes a toll on a marriage.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because I have an opinion about this.
Yeah.
And I see this on social media. So let's talk about this part of it.
This is a season.
And
it's a season that you will miss when it's over.
Well, that's what she says to me all the time when I'm constantly talking about, having 2 teenagers at home. But the part that I want to focus on right now is the marriage versus the parenting. And for me personally, I think we said this on a different episode, but for me personally, I believe the marriage has to come first.
God has to come first and then the marriage. Yeah.
But the reason why, for me, I think that is I have heard and I have seen a lot of people that put their kids first, and then they're completely disconnected from their partner, and then the kids leave the home and they don't know each other.
Yep. And then they get a divorce when
And
the
then they
kids
get a
turn
divorce.
18 and they are quitting just when it's about to get really good.
Yeah, like it's funny. There was a dad. I don't know his name, but it was a dad on social media, and he was talking about how he was teaching his children that his wife came first. And I loved the example that he gave, where he literally walked in the house after work, and he was pushing the kids aside. Pushing. They all wanted to greet him at the door.
Oh.
He was pushing them, and he said hello.
Good.
But he was pushing them all aside so that he could go directly to his wife first. And she got his first kiss, his first hug, and all of that affection to show the kids that mama comes first.
Wow.
And this is my,
It's
this is my
such-
wife. She was here first before y'all.
It's so important. It's important for little boys to see that because it teaches them how to treat a woman. It's important for little girls to see that because it shows them how they deserve to be treated.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in the throes of one of my marriages, I mean, I didn't make it till one of them turned 18. I'm sorry, but I wish I would have, but I didn't. I wish I would have met Jay
Yeah.
a long time ago and I could have had babies with him. And,
Yeah.
I just think he would have been so much fun. But we would have gone through that season.
Yeah.
But Dr. Phil had an episode and he was talking about how a man should greet his wife first and give her his first portion.
Oh, good. I'm so glad he said that. I
And-
didn't realize that.
But the wife has a responsibility too. And if he enjoys a glass of iced tea or maybe he enjoys an old fashioned, I mean, whatever, she knows when he's on his way home, have that ready for him.
I totally
It
agree.
shows just a high level of, I remember you. I'm thinking about you. I love you. I know you. I thank you for going to work for this family. I thank Jay all the time for being such an incredible leader and just the provider that he is for us and the strength and the security that he brings to me and the peace that brings my soul sharing this life with him.
Yeah. Okay, so now you just reminded me. Every time we have these conversations, I always get another story that reminds me.
Perfect.
And
That's what it's all about.
I definitely so there has been a lot of shifting in culture of what a marriage should be and what should be prioritized, especially in a man and woman role, right? And for a while there, I feel like it was all about the boss babe.
Yeah.
And, she needs to be out there and she needs to be earning whatever, like all this stuff. And it really felt more like a competition of husband and wife instead of
Who's
a partnership.
better?
Who's better?
Yeah.
Who can out earn the other?
One upped you.
Yeah, and it really for me personally, I'm a career girl too. You know what I mean? Like I would say I have had really great success in the business world as well. But for me personally, I have more of traditional values.
Yeah.
Like I want the traditional male and female roles.
Right.
I don't want this kind of like, I'm going to call it a heavy burden that's really meant for a man. The heavy burden of like being the protector, being the provider. The hunter, which I've had to do in the past, and I was actually pretty good at it, but that's not what I was built for. That's not what I want for my life. I think that I am and would be a really great partner and helper, which is what a woman was designed to do. But then you have people in culture that really talk down to that and make that seem like, like a woman isn't strong enough if she wants to be the helper to the man. And I just think that we've been so lost in the whole thing. So here recently, I have given a shout out to Taylor Love, who he does a lot of basically relationship coaching, and
I think people are trying to bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. That's
Yeah.
my point. Because he recently had a post, and he was talking about how he called it trad relationships are coming back. And what it is traditional relationships.
Yeah.
And I do think they're making a comeback. And I actually think that, people like me, people like you, I want that.
Oh, I've always wanted it.
I think we've been lost in this mess that everybody has been trying to sell us with, which was wrong.
We just can't give in to what this world says.
Let me correct what I just said. I said because it's wrong. Well, let me take that back, because if it's in your relationship, if that's the way you want your relationship to be and it works for you, have at it.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. I don't want that.
There's this funny guy.
So it's not wrong. It's just not what I want.
Yeah. I showed you a clip that this guy does, and he takes the irony of situations, and he's always eating something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he used to live in Dallas. I can't remember his name now. He lives in New York, and I just think he's hilarious because he's sitting there eating like a burrito or something, and he says, yeah, I can see where women looked at their husbands coming home after working for 12 hours a day and being exhausted, and them saying, yeah, I want to do that too. After taking care of the house, after taking care of the children, after cooking, all of it, honestly. I mean, there are roles for men and women, and it's just time for us to get back to the basics of love.
Yeah. If you listen to, even though Dave Ramsey is all about financial advice, but I actually love listening to him when he talks about his wife. Really Dave Ramsey, and then also John Deloney. I love when they talk about their relationships because they are so respectful. Not only are they great leaders and great men and providers for their families, but they compliment their wives so much, and they give them so much credit for their success, for the ability for them to go out to do what they do. It's because they held it down for them.
That's right.
It's because they made their role a priority for them in their household. So I just love that. But you have to have the right combination of people. You have to have the same beliefs and values, right? And you have to know that when you're in a relationship with your partner, that's what they're looking for too. Because if you're constantly butting heads because you want to do one thing and they want to do another versus complementing each other, like together, there's no I in team. And together you can accomplish so much more faster. I think that is really important. So this goes back.
And you can make that season of your life be a little bit easier if y'all aren't competing with each other.
Exactly.
And I mean, when I say you're going to miss this about the kids, I loved going to baseball games. Yeah. I loved going and watching my son race. When he was, 13, 14 years old, I miss it. I miss it. I was one of those moms who, I didn't do it the right way. I loved holding my babies in the rocking chair, and I would hold them for their entire 2-hour nap. But then they got used to that's what they got used to.
Yes, that's what they say not to do.
But you know what? I loved it, and that's what we did, and I would not change it.
I held mine too. For me personally, I loved when my babies were babies.
Oh gosh.
I remember it melts my heart still when I think about my kids now. I still, they're 17 and 14, and they have their own thoughts and opinions, and
they sure do,
and they will happily share them. But I still think about them when they were little,
I know.
And I have all of these memories. Like, how did we get here? Like, how did this happen? Because
so fast.
2 minutes ago, I remember when my daughter was born. She was born in Dallas, in one of the hospitals in Dallas, and I remember like talking to her and holding her in the hospital
and looking at her face
and like studying everything. Like I couldn't get enough of her. And now she's 17 years old, about to graduate. Well, she has another year, but she's a junior. And I think about, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And then I think about my son, same thing. I remember the day he was born, and I remember the day when we were, sitting in our little game room and we were doing colors, and I have it on a voice memo. I recorded him and his little lisp, how he used to say colors and how cute it was. And we used to sing these little songs and the shows we used to, and then here we are, that season of life. Like I would love to experience that season of life again. Now, do I want another baby?
No. Yeah, no.
Hell no. But I think that those are sweet moments that I remember.
I think that for me, it's like reflecting back on those times, and what I miss is that chapter of my life has already come and gone so quickly. Yeah. And like my eldest son, he gets a look in his eyes. They do something when he's perplexed or thinking about something. It's almost like his eyes cross. It's a look, and I am the only one who recognizes it. And he has had that look since he was itty bitty.
Yeah.
And you get these little glimpses of those moments with them when they were babies, and it just goes by so fast.
It does.
And so I think that's the biggest thing that I want to stress in this is like, just enjoy the process.
Yes. And I have been a self-proclaimed, I guess, overachiever, workaholic, all these things in such a rush. We overdid a lot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I remember I am guilty of being in such a rush to do the next thing that I really didn't, as you say, marinate myself in the moment. And I have now, in the season of my life where I am right now, I am all about slowing things down. I have changed so much about my life that I just want to go outside and stand in, like, feel the sunshine. Yeah. And I used to never have the time. Yeah. I remember going through an entire, 8 to 10 hour workday, and that was like a short day for me back then. But like, just think about an 8 to 10 hour workday, and I didn't go to the bathroom not one time.
Oh my God.
I remember, because I wouldn't even stop to drink water. I didn't stop to go to the bathroom. I was constantly in go mode. That is insanity. Now,
that's not
now
good.
I prioritize my health.
Yep.
I drink a ton of water, so I'm constantly, it's just stop for a minute.
Yep.
It's like, if you're in such a rush, you look up and it's 2 or 3 decades later. And I remember, for a really, really big part of my life, all I did was work.
Yeah.
All I did was work. So this year, it has been a really big deal for me to slow it down, go on a walk, meditate, travel.
It's been hard
go
for
to
me.
dinner with friends. You have to force yourself
oh my
to
God.
do
Remember,
it.
I was just like...
Yeah. Well, we don't know what to do with ourselves.
I was like hair on fire, and I was freaking out about, and I was already hopping around, and she had to rein me back in, because it's like, calm down.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah. It's like, okay, we have,
don't panic.
We intentionally
did this.
Gave us this season.
We did.
Which, first time in my life, I gifted
Me too.
myself. Yes, we both gifted ourselves time to slow down and to really think about where we are, things in our life, have new experiences, let ourselves not be so crazy.
I know.
And then she'd be crazy all the time because she wasn't being crazy enough.
I was.
Slow down.
I know.
You're supposed to be enjoying this.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be fun. Now, let me tell you, I enjoyed the heck out of this so much that, like, I'm not ready for the next season yet. The next season of feeling refreshed and, rejuvenated and ready to, like, go back into the hecticness of it all. I'm not ready for it. I'm not. I'm still in it right now.
I think that it will be designed a little bit different.
Totally different.
I don't think it will be hectic. I mean, I've got some pretty clear boundaries on what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I have finally determined at this ripe old age that I'm at, I don't need to be number one anymore.
I still do, but
yeah. You go ahead and do that.
I'm just kidding. Actually, I think of things differently now. I think of things differently. It's not a competition.
No.
My only competition is me.
Right.
There are
Yes.
things that, but I definitely don't think of, I'm not distracted by what everybody else thinks
Right.
of me.
That's what I mean.
And me being better than, I don't need
I'm
that.
setting a goal, and that is for me and Jay.
Yeah.
And if I make that, then I am number one.
Yep.
I'm number one in our world.
Right.
And so I have a competitive nature, so it will be hard for me to not want to be the best.
Yeah. But that's what actually, I think that's what makes you the best. Even if it doesn't matter what anybody else's like measurement is,
Right.
but when you want something for yourself and you are willing to, put one foot in front of the other and actually like pull yourself out of mediocrity and comfort, you're already winning.
That's true.
That's what I think.
That's
I
true.
think, I have really big goals for myself, and it's not because I'm going to compare it to somebody else. It's because I know what I want for my life.
Right.
And what I want to experience and what I want my kids to experience. So, yeah, I agree with you. I see things totally differently. I used to be so driven. I want to say it was probably driven more from fear.
Probably.
Before to like, I'm late, I'm behind, I need to do this, and it was this kind of
It's that hyper.
anxious.
It's that hyper independence.
Yes,
it's that,
that's trauma right there.
It's the codependency.
Right.
It's the take charge and make sure
Control
that you
freak.
don't
Yeah.
have to live through whatever it is that's wired inside of you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel that again.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think this whole analogy of like, running from fear.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's not about running away from fear. Now it's running towards pleasure.
Right.
Now I constantly am just thinking about what feels good.
Yeah.
What do I want to see in my life? Who do I want to be surrounded by? What experiences do I want to live? All of that stuff is now pulling me towards it instead of all the
Gunk.
Yeah, I don't need
And
any of that.
that's the part about the seasons, is that you have to go through those things in life to get to a place to where you can recognize the opportunities to go to the next level with something, or to have some quiet time.
Yeah. And if you're doing that and you are finding that you're in the middle of doing something that you thought you wanted to do, and it's starting to feel like,
It's not.
I mean, we just had this conversation about, you and Jay doing something. And you start moving towards it, and then you get this kind of feeling of maybe that's not the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. You can redirect.
Well, and the thing about that is that you do have to surrender to that door staying open or closing. And those feelings that you get in your gut when you're like saying, man, this is it, then keep going forward.
Yep.
But if you start getting that feeling of, I'm having to work too hard to make this happen. And I'm not saying don't work hard to make something happen. You have to work hard to make something happen. But if it's really going sideways,
Right.
you need,
That's where you stop.
yeah,
Pause.
yes, and then see what shakes out, and then go from there.
The power of surrender, and we have talked about this before, my favorite prayer. The number one, I am all about surrender, because whatever is meant for you will not miss you.
Yeah.
Whatever is meant for you will line up with you when it's supposed to. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
And the prayer part, if you've never watched any other episode, let me tell you about the prayer part, because it works.
It does.
And it's a scary prayer to pray. It's not scary when you're in surrender. It's
Right.
only scary when you're a control freak.
Yeah.
So, and I used to never want to pray this prayer before, but now I pray it all the time. And this is,
It feels so good.
it does. It does. This is if somebody comes into my life, if a job opportunity comes up, if I'm thinking about a decision that I might want to make, I literally will pray the prayer of, if this is where I'm meant to be, if this is the person that I'm supposed to be with, if this is the job where I'm supposed to be, any of that kind of stuff, then bring it closer to me and make it abundantly clear. And if it is not, close the door however you see fit.
And sometimes those doors slam.
Sometimes they slam.
shut.
Sometimes something happens so crazy sideways that you never expect it to happen.
And you don't question it at all.
But you don't question it. And you're like, okay, well,
And
I
you
got
just
my answer.
you can smile and be happy and skip along to the next.
And the door is absolutely closed and you know it.
Yep.
And
there
you know it.
There is no doubt.
And you still should, for me, in that moment, I still have a level of peace and gratitude, even when it didn't go how I thought, even when that door slammed, however it did. I asked for it.
You do.
I asked for clarity. I asked for direction. I only want the highest and best for my life. I only want to do the things that will make me a better version of myself and that will create better experiences and lead me in a better direction. So if you're willing to pray that prayer, if you're willing to surrender.
But that's a season also.
That's a season
of
too, because I
surrender.
was never like that before. Never. I was too much of a control
But
freak.
once you go into that season, it's almost like you don't ever want to come out of it.
Totally agree.
So let's talk about some of the seasons we've gone through personally. And I bet a lot of you people have gone through these. I mean, we've gone through, obviously, dating and marriage.
Dating and marriage for
Divorce.
sure. I mean, those are huge seasons. Because here's the thing. There's a season of dating should you get married.
Yeah.
There's a season of you dated, you got married. Now, should you get divorced? If you find yourself in the wrong relationship, all these questions.
But I think that in that divorce situation, that you need to make sure you're not in a season of your marriage that's just hard.
Right.
And pulling you away. Get back, get a hold of your thoughts and your mind and get back to the moment of when you were falling in love and try to remember those feelings and give your spouse the attention that you need. It could be you. You could be the common denominator in the breakdown of it all.
Yep.
Make sure that you're, taking care of yourself to where you are desirable.
Yep.
I mean, I know.
Yeah. How are you acting in the first, like you say, after the euphoria wears off? But if you go back, if you're really, really honest with yourself and you go back to what was it like when you were dating?
Oh, my.
The first 3 months, the first 6 months, the first 12 months, the first year and a half, whatever.
Did you fix your hair? Did you put your makeup on?
Yes.
Did you
yes. It's
wear special perfume?
Yes. What were you doing then, and are you still doing that now?
Right.
Because, the person that you were is the person that entered that relationship. Now, was that really you, authentically you?
Right.
Or was that just to get the person?
Right.
Right?
And things do change.
Things do change, and that's okay. You're supposed to evolve.
Gain weight when we have babies, but get back out there and get back in shape.
Yep.
You can do it.
This totally reminds me. Okay, I was telling Julz about Scandal. Okay, so there's this is an old series. I think I brought this up on a different show, on a different episode. But
She
anyway,
likes Scandal.
I do. I like Scandal, and actually, I've just started rewatching it again on Netflix. It's called Scandal, and Kerry Washington is on it.
I've seen that screen.
Kerry Washington is on
she's
it,
so
and
cute.
Shonda Rhimes, I think is her last name, the creator of Grey's Anatomy. She's the same writer of this one, the same creator. So it's funny. I was watching an episode over the weekend, and Fitz and Melly, who are two of the main characters, the president and the first lady, right?
Okay.
It relates to this story because they are at odds. They are bumping heads all the time. And she approaches him and she says, reminded him back to a really early memory in their dating life. And she's like, remember when we were in the log cabin and they were super playful with each other, and she said, remember when we were just having a great time under the covers and laughing about whatever and enjoying the moment. And she brought that up to him. Now they've been together for however long they've been together, and they've had 3 children now, and she wanted to take him back to that moment of remember when we fell in love, remember who we were, because they couldn't. Now, present day, they couldn't stand to even be in the same room together. So she was just trying to bring them back. So that what you just said reminded me of that moment. And it's like, do that. Can you? And sometimes that might require honesty, and that might might be a really hard, uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, there's an episode on that.
Yeah, where you actually have to say, I'm no longer that person, and this no longer is the right fit. Like that could be the conversation. But see, even when there's a season of change in a relationship, I still think that if you approach it with love and compassion, I still think that even if a relationship is ending, that's not a failure. There is something that you learned. There is something that you can still love and support each other through the next season.
It may have to be a few years after the
Maybe,
divorce.
and that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But it is possible. It is possible if you're coming from, this is where the whole conscious uncoupling method came in, because it's not about burning it to the ground and hating each other and tearing each other apart.
Right.
I mean, sometimes that happens. Actually, that happens most of the time, for sure. But there are times where if both people can sit down, now
and be
this
mature adults.
This is where you both have to be healed and mature and have emotional intelligence to have a conversation, to be able to say, I really think this is the end of our road. And I still want the best for you, even if that means not with me. Like, I think that could be a really beautiful way to...
But I still think that has to be earned.
Oh,
there has to be
100%. I'm not saying to throw your marriage away for no...
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying throw your marriage away for no good reason. I'm not saying that.
But if you've gone through all the muck and maybe somebody's cheating on you, or you have discovered significant character flaws... that's definitely a time to, you know that there is no going back.
If you know that there's no going back.
You already know their truth. And so they can say, I'm going to change, and you'll hear that story over and over and over again, but they don't change. They say they're sorry. Just don't throw in the towel.
Right.
Because you're bored, or because maybe you're the boring one if you're bored. Honestly.
Were you the boring one?
Never.
Julz was not the boring one. She was not.
Gosh, that would take a lot of time to reflect on all of my marriages.
Yeah.
But you truly do have to put your spouse first.
There absolutely is I know that there's a way. I know that there is a way. Now, let me tell you, I'm 5+ years post-divorce, and that first, especially first few months in the first year, that's rough. That's rough. You're going through, even if you're trying
when you first get married or when you have babies?
No. When you're going through a divorce.
Oh,
when you're going through a divorce, that is actually, all of it is rough. Not when you first get married. That's not rough. When you move in together and you're doing that's not rough.
Yeah.
When you first have babies, that's rough.
Sure.
That's rough because and everybody makes it so like, oh, babies, and it's so blah blah.
Well, you
blah,
remember
whatever.
my fantasy?
Yeah. Oh, I remember we talked about
hair.
It. Yeah.
It looks like I have straight hair.
But
I don't.
But those first of all, they are beautiful, beautiful moments.
They are,
and they kick your ass.
Yep.
Like
it's a season.
Yes, it's a season, and you are living in this haze.
Yeah, I remember.
And no
waking
one
up,
tells you.
Good God, I remember waking up every single night in the middle of the night with my last one, and he screamed all the time, and I just thought that we weren't going to make it. I really didn't think we were going to make it. But I would be, walking around bouncing him. Oh, sorry, I hit that. And I would look out the window, and it was like every house on my street was dark. It was like I was the only human being awake in the entire world.
Yeah. That can be really lonely.
Oh my God, I felt so isolated, and I mean, even everybody in my own house was asleep except for me. And I felt like nobody cared. And look, I survived.
Yes.
And it's over. It was a season. It passes. And I just want to grab some of these young couples, and I ask them, I'm like, tell me, is he cheating on you? Is he beating you? No. I'm like, how old are the babies?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can say if you have little babies at home and you can save a marriage, like I am all for.
Oh.
I am all for saving the family because I am all for saving the
You
family.
just took it
However,
to a different level. It's not just about you and him anymore.
right. However, I will also say that doesn't mean that you get to be or that you have to be a doormat. That
Nope.
doesn't mean
No, ma'am.
that you are supposed to tolerate abuse and disrespect and all this other kind of stuff.
Don't be married to somebody who's living a single life.
Right. Well, this goes
And
back
you're
to
a single mother.
Let's go back to this is why dating is so important.
Yeah.
And this is why the list is so important. And this is why
And this is why you don't
intentional
ignore
dating-
things
Exactly.
that are red flags when you're dating and think it'll blow over because it won't.
No, it gets actually
They're
gets worse.
showing you
Yeah.
who they are.
Yep.
That is
So-
not a season. Know the difference between what is a season and what isn't
Right.
a season.
I agree with that. I agree. And really everything that we share is really in hopes to avoid
divorce.
ever needing the divorce,
Yeah.
avoid marrying the wrong person,
Mm-hmm.
avoid putting yourself in a situation where you have made yourself last. This really has to be about self-love, self-awareness, self-discovery. Like go
Honesty,
into honesty, go into it with your
authenticity.
eyes wide open and
Don't be stupid. It's just that simple. It's that simple. Quit being so. I was stupid, repeatedly stupid.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay.
But you know, Betty, I sat there and I am working on this book, and I'm in the middle of writing a letter to my father. I'm having to recreate this letter because I can't find the original when it's in a box somewhere up in the attic, which makes me really sad. But and I was talking to my eldest son about this the other day, and you look over your life when you get to a certain point, and I don't know if I would change anything.
I know.
Because if I change something, then I would have to give something up that I love now. It's hard. It's hard. And in this letter that I'm writing to my dad, I am saying that I can't honestly tell him that I would change anything. I know my life. Of course, I would want him here. Of course. But I also think that my life would be so different and I wouldn't have my boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then my son said, but would you?
But would you what?
Would you have me and Jake and Richie?
Well, I remember telling you about this post that I saw on social media and
Oh, yeah.
and what the whole thing was about is even if you feel like you married the wrong person, you still ended up with the right children.
Yeah.
Like those people, the children, their spirits, who they are, they came into your life.
It's just
for a
like
reason.
Jake picking me out.
Like Jake, exactly. So I believe that. I believe that for every child.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think about that for me because I have thought to myself, if my childhood had been differently, and if I had this kind of role model as a dad and this kind of role model as a mom, or whatever, I've all these conversations with myself, but then I wouldn't be me.
I know.
And the things that I have that I love about me,
Right.
The things that I have today about me all came from all these life lessons and all these different seasons that I had to go
Right.
through. So would I give up me who I am today? No.
I know.
I wouldn't give up me.
But I would want
and
my
all the
dad
lessons.
to not die when he was 42 years old.
Of course. Of course. Yes,
So
but,
it's so weird.
But you wouldn't be you.
I know.
So
But these are the kinds of things that are way too big for our minds to be able to comprehend. It's not for us to know. That's for God. And
I do believe.
our timer is already going off.
Really?
So fast.
Okay, well, we're going to keep talking because.
Just for a few minutes.
Just
though.
for a few minutes. But I do believe that if you just allow yourself to just, again, surrender.
Yeah.
That's like, I have never felt so much peace in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it all happened after I just said, I surrender.
It's amazing.
And that's when everything became an adventure for me. Instead of this thing that I felt
Trying
like I
to
was
death grip
controlling.
it.
Yes. Instead of like, I tried to control everything around. I tried to control things that impossible.
It's ridiculous.
impossible. You can't control everything that's happening around you. You can only control what you do and how you respond.
So really, in a lot of cases, we create bad seasons just with our own behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we put ourselves in situations, we keep ourselves in situations that we know aren't right for us.
Right.
So that season of feeling stuck, why are you stuck?
I know.
Why are you still there?
I know. I look at my sister and her husband who have been married for over 40 years, and they have passed through some seasons, but they've got a very, very strong friendship. And I mean, you can't stay married for over 40 years without
If you don't like that person.
having some crap
Right.
go down.
Yeah.
You know, but
I do think that the friendship thing is super important.
And I just absolutely love being an observer of their marriage and what they have today. And it's just so cool.
Well, and here's the other thing too. We talked about this before. The other thing that's really important, not only is the friendship part really important, but when you're deciding who you're going to marry, now, again, I got married in my early 20s. I didn't know this then.
Right.
But now, this time around, when I'm deciding who I want to marry now, I want to be married to somebody that I know when the going gets rough, you're right there planted next to me.
Yep.
If something is going sideways, we are hand in hand and we're going to tackle it together.
Want me to tell you how to do that?
Yeah, go ahead. What are you going to say?
So Jay and I get up every single morning and we have our time together. We have our time with God. We have our prayers. We talk about our dreams. We just end up, we could have like 5-hour long conversations, but it's like, oh, we got to go. We got to stop this. And I promise it has put a bubble of protection around us, and it's kept our relationship so solid.
What's that saying? It's couples that pray together stay together?
Yeah. And I mean, we have stuff coming our way constantly, but it just, knock on wood, and we don't ever want to take it for granted. We do not allow it to penetrate us.
I would say, I agree with everything you just said. I would say that if you're dating someone, that you ask the question, ask about their character, not only their character, but also their ability to work through hard.
Yep.
Right? Like, are they the type that in your relationship, you're supposed to be observing how they are. In the relationship, if something is going on that's difficult, do they step up to the challenge and take care of it? Or do they kind of throw you to the line of fire?
You deal with that.
And you deal with it.
No.
Or like wave it off like it's not a big deal. Like this is the purpose of dating, is to see if you're compatible with your partner, to see if that person can make it through the seasons with you.
And that's why you need to give it a lot of time when you're dating. I say you've got to date at least 2 years. Because you've got to let that euphoric stay. You need to live
We have
through.
a difference of opinion.
You need to, well, it's because I have made a fool of myself.
I understand it. I do understand it. But
you need to see them in a lot of different kind of situations and how they handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to know if, you've got plans in place, and then, we all have kids, and those little cutie pies, there's nothing convenient about them.
She didn't want to say cutie pie.
Those little sons of bitches. My mom had a friend who, he had grandchildren. I remember his face. I remember his wife too. I worked with his wife, and he was like, my daughter brought those little angels over on Friday night, and I told her to come pick those little sons of bitches up on Sunday. They're precious.
That's
I don't
funny.
even know what I was talking about.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Squirrel. But it's true.
Man, I don't know what we were talking
Well,
about.
if you have plans, like
Yeah. You have to be able to
and then,
adapt.
You got kids, and you want somebody who's going to be on your same field saying, I got it.
I got it. I'll handle it.
We'll
take care of
handle
that.
it. Yeah.
So absolutely, because that was me. I was the fixer. I was handling it
Yes.
all. I was carrying the weight on my
too.
shoulders. I was doing
Always.
everything for everybody else, and I was at the bottom of the pile, not taking care of me.
And then you just are exhausted, and then you get to where you're just empty and you have nothing to give to anyone.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm done.
Yep.
I'm out.
Yep.
So and if you have been living in that mode, I did all of my life until I met Jay. And we've been together now for 13 years. And sometimes it is still hard for me not to believe that the shoe hasn't dropped. It's not going to drop.
Well, now it's not.
No.
Now it's not. But that's why they dated for so long, because you always tell that story.
Well, he too knew himself well enough to
Yes.
know that he falls in love very fast.
So you wanted to give it a lot of time.
And we didn't even really, I don't know. We were just so happy. The hardest thing about dating Jay was when he had to leave or I had to leave. And then we decided that it was really time to, if we went on a little trip or something, for us to go home together. But we weren't going to live together. That was just our thing.
I feel the same way.
And
I do feel the same way.
Yeah, and it just made it so special when we finally got to that place.
And by the way, statistically, and this came from Dave, there's a whole report that Dave Ramsey was talking about, and he was saying that not only financially you're not as well off if you're just living together, cohabitating, and not married, because you're not building together.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then the other thing he said was living together without being married, that it has a higher failure rate in the relationship than getting married and actually like building a life together.
Right.
Because he explained it so beautifully, and I thought it was so awesome. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't want to live with anybody.
No.
If we're not married, I'm not doing it.
And I don't want y'all to think I'm
not
sitting
playing
here
house.
being an angel, because God knows before I met Jay, I wasn't, and I had to go to 2 years of therapy for all that crap that I did in my years before that. But I was tired of living that way. I was tired of being in that season of just rinse, repeat, getting the same thing. I was not getting anywhere. I was a gerbil on a wheel, and I needed to change my season to something that was ever changing but steady all at the same time.
Yeah.
Was that not beautiful?
That was beautiful.
We have to wrap it up.
That was beautiful. Okay, so here's what I'm going to share with y'all. We have our comment section below. If you would drop a comment, leave us some feedback, give us some other topic ideas that you might want to hear about and get our perspective on it.
And that's all it is. We're not doctors.
That's all
or
it is.
anything.
Yeah, we're not doctors. We're not therapists. We're just two cool chicks that like to talk.
A lot. I'm hoarse after I leave here.
That's it. And the other thing I will say is that we do have an email address. If you want to have a conversation that that you don't want to post publicly, and you just want to maybe get some feedback or have a chat, have a question or whatever, you can email us directly. We're the only ones that read it. We're the only ones that respond. And that's hello@BettyandJulz.com, BETTE.
JULZ.
And while you're here, subscribe. We now
Tell everybody.
Our library is now amazing. We have built up quite the content, library of episodes. So while you're here, if you are new to our channel, stick around for a while, watch a few, refer them on, share them, tell us what you think. And we're having a great time, and we're going to keep doing this.
Mm-hmm. We love it. We love you.
Yep. It's awesome. It's great. We're thrilled and excited and so grateful to be able to do this. And we are so appreciative that you spent a part of your day with us. And until the next one, we will see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.